Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
The Mandalorian, will you be training the Mythosaur in the next season?
Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be so cool. I want to ride a dragon. I mean, that'd be super awesome, right? But I have no idea. I can't tell you. But thank you for trying.
Hi, Katee. You've brought to life a lot of really strong female characters, and now you've entered that next stage of motherhood. I was kind of wondering, what from any of those characters do you plan to translate into being a parent?
Hopefully not a lot of Starbucks. I mean, if I did, my child would be a mess. It's such a mess. I mean, she'll probably be a mess anyway, because I'm small, but like, you know, I mean like in a good way. Like in like a hot mess kind of way. Oh my God, you're so cute, I can't. I think that the most important thing for me, and I learned this from playing Starbuck actually, is that when I first got into this business, I was really trained to be seen and not heard, and to not stand up for myself because you don't want to be difficult, and all of these things, because as a woman, you get labeled as the B word very quickly. And so I really tried to just like toe the line and like do what I was supposed to do and show up and blah blah blah. And when I started playing Starbuck, I think it helped me find my voice a little too much. And then I sort of had to pull it back a little bit because I realized that people didn't want to know everything I was thinking at every minute of my life. So I think that standing up for yourself is a huge one that I would love to sort of like give to my daughter. But I think the thing that all of my characters have in common that I would love to be able to like figure out how to give my daughter is resiliency. I think they're all very resilient. And I think as a parent, like that is the one thing I would love for my daughter is to just keep going, you know? And so if I could find a way to bottle that, that would be the thing. Thank
Great
you.
advice.
She is so funny. She's like, I'm done. I'm done.
Katee, thanks for coming out here to Phoenix again and displaying here for everybody. It's always amazing here to see hear you speak. And when you were cast into The Mandalorian, I think a lot of the people in the room were like, yes, oh my God. And it's been amazing seeing your career progress. My question for you is, are there any other creative pursuits, like art or music, or any other genres that you like to play in acting? Because we all know you on screen as a bad bee, but you can do so much more, right?
Oh, thank you. My talent really stops at just overpaid compulsive liar. I cannot draw. I cannot play an instrument. I can sing. But I can't sing in front of people, so that really limits things. So I don't know, I don't want to direct, because actors are real difficult. So I have no idea. I have no idea. I keep asking myself that, like, what I want to do, and sort of like trying to find like other creative outlets, because I'm blessed and cursed within the sense that like I get to do my hobby as my career, and so I don't have a lot of hobbies. So I just took up pottery. I love it. It's amazing. It's like meditative. It's really cool. But that has nothing to do with this business. So I don't know. Maybe my husband is a writer, and so we've created quite a few things together. I love creative producing. I think I've been on set for so long that I cannot do everyone's job. I would never pretend to be able to do that, but I can see when it's done well, and I can see solutions to problems as they sort of come up. So I do enjoy producing, like on-set creative producing just really fills me with joy. So maybe more of that.
voice work for Bo kind of help with the acting where you couldn't use your facial expressions? And do you have any advice for conveying emotion and things like that when you either can't use facial expressions or can't use body language as a whole?
Yeah. So I do think it helped me. So I do think I have an advantage when I'm in my helmet compared to a lot of the other people, because that's where when I actually feel most comfortable as Bo, because I have there's a mic in my helmet, so it's sort of like, you know, there's this echo inside my helmet, so I actually hear Bo, which is so weird to me. So I love playing her with the helmet on. And then, you know, I normally tell actors like not to get caught up in the way they look on camera, because I think that it can actually be a curse. I have worked with people that constantly run to the monitor because they want to see what they look like, and you know, for there's different reasons to do that, of course, but I think sometimes the vanity can override and it can take away your spontaneous like reactions and voice, and so I try not to do it, but in this situation in Mando, you have to do it because you have to go and see what it looks like, what your body movement looks like. And so there were many, many times when I grabbed my iPhone at home, and because this season I really wanted to show her body language shifting when she was more comfortable and more relaxed. I wanted her to be less like military in her stance and stature. So I would grab my iPhone and I would actually see what it looked like in the suit and what the movements looked like, and if it looked weird, if I was holding the helmet like a football helmet, would it look weird? Or because she does that in Clone Wars and Rebels, so I was like, okay, can I hold this differently? Can I do that? So I really looked at the phone and I used my iPhone as a tool, and I think that was really important. So I would just tell people to like continue to mess around with their phones at home and see, you know, if you know, record yourself and think about something and try to put, you know, like a situation or a thought in your mind and really think about it, and then go back and watch it and say, does it really look like that's what I'm thinking or that's what I'm doing? It's a tool, you know, it's such a tool to have these phones that are so smart, and so they have so many abilities to be able to go and actually look at what you're doing. So I would just do that. That was such a benefit to me this year. Yeah.
So I really enjoyed a short that you did years ago that was like a dark Power Rangers short. I'd like to know, you know, how you got involved with
Everybody's
that.
screaming wiener.
Thanks, Mom. So I'd like to know how you got involved in that, and also since then, you know, you've had so much practice conveying emotion through Robert's suit, face and the helmet, and I've even heard people like compare the Night Owls to Star Wars Power Rangers. So if the opportunity came up to do like a more serious, darker, more emotion-laden Power Rangers movie, short, whatever, I mean, would you be interested in that?
Absolutely. First of all, you know, I grew up watching Power Rangers, loved it, and I really, really loved that. So I would absolutely love to do a gritty one. I thought personally that it was that Saban made a mistake in that I do believe there's a world where both Power Rangers exist. A grittier, darker version for people who grew up with Power Rangers, and then people who want to be able to still watch Power Rangers with their children, or have a sort of a kinship with the original, which I do as well. So I loved watching the movie that came out. I got involved with that because my Addie Shankar called, or no, was it Addie? Was it Joseph? Joseph called, who was going to do this fan video, this Power Rangers fan video. And I was like, I don't know, because it sounded like, I was like, I don't know if I can, like for YouTube, like that just seems so, I don't know, like, and he was like, oh, it's like $1 million fan video. And I was like, oh, like a real, like this is like a movie. He's like, they have to call it a fan video because then it's not copyright, I guess. So that's how I got involved with it when I read the script and I saw it, and then James Vanderbeek was in it, and I was like, love Dawson. So I was like, of course. So that's sort of how I got involved with it, but really it was just like, the idea of seeing what a grittier Power Rangers would look like was something that was really interesting to me, and still is. I think it's such a great idea. And I think you're right, I think the Night Owls sort of have this sort of like work together to form one sort of, stronger machine type thing, for sure. Thank you.
Hi, Katie. First of all, I'm really excited to meet you later on whenever you're having your next signing.
Right after this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right after this.
I was just curious, of any of the Star Wars characters you could be, like, if you could be recasted, including in the original trilogy, who would you be and why?
I always wanted to be Han Solo. My favorite character in Star Wars is Jar Jar Binks. I'm sorry. I have never seen someone try so hard and fail so badly. And I loved it. I loved it. So I don't know. I always try. Everything Harrison Ford does is just amazing. And I think that he's such a phenomenal human being. So I would probably go back and want to be him. Probably. But I always loved Leia. Leia was like one of the first female characters that I saw that was like capable and feminine and funny and smart. I loved that character. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Once again, thank you for coming to Phoenix and bearing the heat and everything else.
I love the heat.
Yeah, you like your sauna, right?
I do.
But this
I'm
is
crazy.
the dry heat, not the sauna, right? And you'll have to have a conversation with Paul Bettany about getting into the suit, because he had a similar description of getting into Vision's outfit. that
Yeah,
you
but
have
men
in
are
this.
equipped with a much easier, system. I mean, it's built in.
As a superwoman, I can understand to the she-we thing. Got it. My question is, how have you learned to balance, or how are you and your husband balancing? You're both Hollywood people, and because Paul, Jennifer works and then Paul works.
Yeah.
Do you guys do the same thing, or how do you work that?
We do, yeah. It's, my husband, we're blessed because he works from home, because he's a writer. So much so that we actually had to, for his birthday, I got him an office outside of the house, because it's so hard. He's such a phenomenal man, and he has the hardest time when our daughter knocks on his office, and he just comes out. So it was starting to get really challenging for him. We're learning, but I think the thing that I realized because I went back to work so soon, was I had to let go of my guilt of being away from her, and knowing that I had choices to make, that I made this choice, and if I was going to make this choice, then I couldn't feel guilty while I was there. I had to lean into it and do it, and then go home and give my full self to her. And I have just the most phenomenal man in the world. I don't know what I did to deserve this human being. But he is so selfless and so calming and so just patient, and he's just absolutely just God's gift. And so he helps me all the time. That being said, I don't work as much as I used to, because I don't want to. I want to be with her. My mom has said my entire life that if she could go back and do it again, she would not work for the first 2 years.